So it's Monday, a long weekend. Dragged Nikki into the workshop. Started on Stefan's car, just in public holiday mood. So got the forklift, dragged this out from its corner. Let's actually work on it. This, if anyone doesn't know, this is my E30. I've had this, how long have I had it, babe? Like since we're 18. So what's that? 9-10 years. Drove this to school, drove this to trade school, did everything. Was my daily driver. Then one day I welded the diff and went to a skid pan day, and that was the end of that. So a quick run through. It's full caged, E30, it's a sedan, so it's the superior chassis over the coupe because more doors, more hauls. It's currently got a VVTi 1J. It hasn't run with this motor. It's forever been a M20, B27, bottom end with a B25 head, turbo, around 300 kilowatts. That was unbelievable. Loved that motor setup, and for some reason I decided to tear it out and put this in it. And then it hasn't run since. Sort of been motor, work's been busy, everything like that. So need to get stuck back into it. There's a fair few things on the list before it goes back into repaint the car. For one is finish all the cooling system off. I've got sort of it half done, but haven't finished it. Modified a fair bit. Changed all the steering linkage, get more clearance for a 3.5-inch dump pipe, etc., etc. So rather than keep talking, let's get stuck into it. Plan for today is to get a harness bar done. Previously I had it between the rear legs. Wasn't happy with it. I don't know, it just looked funny. So now we're going to go ahead and put one through the main hoop, and so I can update the cage I want to register the cage to do some circuit racing stuff. Not that I ever will, but I've got to gusset the main hoop and a couple other little bar work to get it to a state level spec cage. Then I can logbook it as a circuit race chassis. So if I want to do a track day or something like that, it's all good to go. So I've just gone ahead, made up those two harness bars, dummied up the driver's seat and got that one tacked in place. As you can see, that one wasn't tacked in place. Anyway, got the passenger seat sitting in position. There we go. Don't mind me using the old harness bar as a new harness bar. Just I'm a tight ass in my own cars, so bit of old tube. Anyway, so that's all in there. You can see. I'm gonna go ahead, clean up all the old paint and start welding these two up. So as you can see, I just went along and made the Tyco gussets for the main hoop. Got one sitting here and the other one's the opposing one. Anthony went around, other Anthony, there's like 7 Anthonys that kick around, made templates for the gussets here. They're over on the bench. We've already chopped one up, as you can see. Oh, that's the other side. Anyway, get the idea. That'll get some dimple dies and they'll get welded in. So we'll go use the other template. Is that right, bud? Leo's here helping as well. Chop the other one up, then we'll go through and dimple dye all these. You up, bud? As Leo just said, chop them up, weld them in, good to go, on to the next job. So I completely forgot to video us making those windscreen gussets. Anthony went along and made them up, dimple dyed them. I went through and welded 2 diffs for him and his E46. Just a fresh winter 444 diff gears and got a spare. So they're welded up, good to go for his NA car. That's a heap of fun, that car. Will probably end up in the video somewhere along the line. But we've gone along, we've got these tacked in, dimple dyed, tacked in place. as you just seen, we finished welding up those gussets, the taco gussets in the main hoop. So they're all welded out now. So we've got those new harness bars, taco gussets, and we went along and did these dimpled eyes in the front. So that wraps out there for the Easter Monday public holiday. So it's Tuesday. We've gone ahead, quickly button up the hot side on Stefan's S14. As you can see, intakes there. We've got the airflow meter, cooler pipes done. Worked it in with his Blitz kit, so adapted that to that. Waiting on 2 more bends from our supplier, just to go there to there, and that's done. The screamer's done, as you've seen I did the other day. And from there, we've gone ahead and thrown the blue RX-8 on the hoist. This is coming for a turbo manifold, wastegate, screamer pipe, dump pipe to suit up the exhaust that's already got, and we'll have to modify the hot side cooler pipe. So it's up on the hoist now, got everything ready. Roughly got an idea on where the turbo is going to go, so we'll get stuck in to make up a manifold. Got a bunch of steam pipe bends, going with Schedule 10 on this one, rather than the thin wall stuff, just so we don't need a turbo brace. So yeah, it's RX-8 City at the moment, got the LS one and the rotary one. So it's Wednesday, mid-morning. Anthony's got back onto Stefan's S14, doing that cooler pipe. We're waiting some parts on. So he's got the final bit of the charge pipe going on here, AN bung for the idle air control valve. So he's going to go ahead, weld that one up. So that was that last cooler pipe, that Dash 8 bung welded on. There's also yesterday Arvo and this morning. Anthony was working on the manifold, as you can see, some better lighting, for the RX-8. So that's that there. He's got to put an elbow to go up to the turbo now. So that's from the 13B RX-8, and we've got the LS RX-8. I've been going ham on this. I've been finishing off brake lines. Had to put I don't know if we can see it, a brake bias valve in there for the rears. Finishing off all the brake lines. I had to mount an Astra Power steering pump, brake lines, braided lines down to the calipers. We've done a clutch line. Wiring's been going ahead on this, so I sort of getting stuck back into this so that the auto elect can finish wiring it up. Got the core packs mounted, heaps, yeah, I know, massive list. That's just today's list. But back to that, Anthony's going to finish putting Stefan's car together, that's 14, and that's ready for Stefan to pick up, and he's going to jump back into the blue 13B RX-8 and get that manifold done, get the dump pipe mounted to the existing exhaust, and we'll get the cooler pipe modified. So it's now Thursday, midday. Been a while since an update. Just showed you a few clips of Anthony doing the manifold and the dump pipe. He's gone ahead. He's got the dump pipe in. The manifold's on with the wastegate. Now he's just got the cooler pipe to do and the screamer prop. Didn't really get much content on this. I've been working on the sports sedan, mounting up like accumulators, battery, wiring, a few other heap of little jobs. So it's been pretty tedious / boring work. Haven't really filmed much, but big box full of powder coating turned up for the F6. Don't mind the mess. This week's been crazy. So the lack of content on this, at least we'll finish this off today / tomorrow and get that running before the weekend. So. So it's Friday, haven't filmed much this week. We have been flat knacker. I will be in on Saturday working on my own car, so we'll try and top up some sort of fab content there. But anyway, the blue RX-8's done. As you can see, wastegate, manifold, dump pipe, everything's there. There's like a steel oil drain, the screamer pipe, the cooler pipe's done. It's just in the car because the customer's supplying their own clamps and stuff, so that's ready to get picked up. That also got a trans cooler because it's got a power glide, so there's that up in here. So that's that job done. That's leaving Monday, I think, hopefully, or maybe this Arvo. They're just trying to find a tow truck. I've just been a flat knacker on this thing. It's just been lots of tedious little jobs, nothing really to film, but onto the F6. Last night we finished putting this together. Let's get the light on. It's all together. All we're going to do is put oil in it and put the intake on. So we're going to go ahead now. We'll put the intake on, put oil in it, put some coolant in it, and this should be ready for the first fire up with this setup on it. You got to remember, the motor we've ran, it's a stock motor with valve springs, oil pump gears, head studs, typical Barra stuff. We've just gone ahead and tidied it up, made it a bit more aesthetically pleasing than the old 3584 low mount setup. Anyway, throw that together now, oil in, and hopefully you turn the key soon. So back at the shop, it's like 8 o'clock at night. I went to the pub for dinner, but Ollie's really keen to get this thing started. And since didn't get the key turn today, I'm stuck making headers for that, working on other stuff. It's going to come back, so I guess we'll, check over a few things and turn the key. See how it all goes. Fingers crossed. It all should just start up no dramas, I reckon. Anyway, so as you've seen, we've got Ollie's car back up on the hoist. After running it, we've got a little leak out of the thermostat housing. I put a new thermostat with a new thermostat rubber, like O-ring in it. Didn't put any gasket go on it, thinking it was going to be fine, but no, a little water drip from that. But I changed the filter. We did just put new oil in it. I hadn't changed the filter. I couldn't be bothered doing it on the ground. So lift it up, lose a little bit of oil out of our old filter. That's probably only under 1,000 Ks old anyway. We're only doing oil and filter just to be sure. And I think that's it. Other than that, we will put the turbo beanie back on. We took that off just to make sure there was no fittings leaking, just give it a once over. So we'll throw that back on. So throw up in the air now. Ollie's going to go ahead and do his oil, drain a bit of coolant out to do that thermostat housing seal, and that'll be this. Ready for a tune. Got tuned in a few weeks. Hopefully it goes good. I think he was hoping 5 would be a good... Anything starting with a 5 in the kilowatt range. None of them American horsepowers around here. So that's sort of the plan for it. Remember, it is stock bottom end, so that's sort of the weak link. Rest of the car is pretty sorted. So anyway, get stuck into that. I'm going to keep working on the headers on the black RX-8. One of the things I've been dreading doing, as you can see, we've got like no room. I think you can see it better from this side. As you can see, there's a steering shaft. Yes, so I've had to go around it that way and around it that way. And these are a nightmare. The other side, I've got 3.5 hectares. There goes some American fucking numerology for you all. Other side should be easy, so I'm doing the hard side first, just so, yeah, I normally do the hard sides first. So anyway, I'll get stuck into that. All he's going to do is oil, and we'll catch up with you a bit later on. So I've been hustling away at this header. So we've got all the runners on this side done. 2 are welded out, 2 are just tacked up, ready to be welded. Ollie's finishing his service off. So this thing has got a few little jobs tomorrow. Then he's got some new wheels and tires. Well, secondhand, new to him. Those 19s, great, look awesome. But he's picked up some like factory 17s with a Mickey Thompson radial. They're pretty worn out, but for now the only plan is to try and square the rear end up, try and figure out what offsets we need of a nice rim to put a radial on, because the plan is take this thing roll racing, maybe some drags if drivetrain will hold up, but for now, plan is some roll racing. We'll definitely get some clips on that in the future. Like I said, got tuned, got to get the rear end sorted. A few other bits and pieces before it's ready to take to the track, but should be a bit of fun, so we'll get that content later on down the track. For now, I'll go back to this manifold. I didn't film anything of me making this side at all, but my time lapse, we're welding it up. It is 10:30 on a Friday night. Tomorrow, I'm coming to work on the yellow nugget again. I'll definitely get heaps of content of that. Just finished up welding the driver's side header for the LS RX-8. Let's go to the flange. As you can see here, we've actually got a split flange on this one. The idea of that is we can slide the front 2 runners out of the collector, so we can get like the steering shaft out in case we're to change the steering rack. As you can see, that's the gap there that the steering shaft goes through. So that's all welded out. We've got a bit of tabs on the collector. Got to weld the flange out, but that's something I'll do later on because I've got to make up a new LS heatsink because I don't know where it's gone. But that's that done. So until it's enough of the RX-8 for this week. As I've said, I've done lots of little jobs on it. I'm just slowly ticking off all the fiddly little jobs. But the headers and the exhaust is sort of a next major one. So that's one side done. That's the difficult side. As you can see on this one, we've got bucket loads of room. So we'll just try and mimic what we've done here and get them done, get the exhaust done. This is probably, the plan is to do side pipes, like boom tubes, being the category it is in. We're allowed to do that, which would be pretty cool. So that's down the track, but we need to get these finished, welded out, sent off for ceramic coating, for some heat management, and then get them back. While we're waiting for those to get back, we can finish off the rest of the car, hopefully, have it at ride height, and then we can figure out our ground clearance and where we can put those side exit or boom tubes as such. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm coming in, work on the E30. Here we are, Saturday morning. A few things to do, just unlock the shed. Gone around, turned some lights and everything on. Ollie's just rocked up too. What do we do today? Ollie's doing some stuff on his car, like we said, muck around with the tyres and stuff. I'm planning on getting headlights mounted in this. I've actually gone ahead and I've found myself a square headlight grille. So the purists are going to hate me when I wreck that, but we've got some LED aftermarket headlights to mount up. But first, decided to get a go-kart down. There's racing tomorrow if the rain holds off. So we're going to pull the go-kart off the pallet racking. It's been a while since we started this thing up. We're going to put some tyres on it, check fuel, check oil, normal type of things, and get it ready for tomorrow and cross our fingers that it doesn't rain. So we'll get that down, we'll get stuck into the go-kart for an hour or two, and then jump onto the E30. So we've got the go-kart off the pallet racking onto the trolley. Plan is now, I'm going to go through, give it a once over, check the brakes, lube the chain, got some tyres. I thought some new ones, but I got some second-hand, half alright ones. So put on the back, fronts are fine, chuck some fuel in it, give it a wash, charge the battery, and what's Leo up to? Here you go, mate. Leo, hey. Guess he's a tyre man for the weekend. Get him to check over those. Yeah, so we'll get all that knocked over and go on to that E30. As you just seen, we did some tyre changing. While I was doing the kart tyres, Ollie come over and said, hey, the factory Ford 17 didn't fit over his Harrop brakes. So I went through what some rims that I had this gram light. So I went ahead and mounted the Mickey Thompson to that, and they look sick. As you can see, he's got the Harrop brakes in there. Wouldn't fit over the factory 17s, but the gram light's being made for big brake clearance, fit on the back. Dirty car, but anyway, you can sort of see. That is looking pretty tough. So now we'll just screw the coilovers up a little bit, because at the moment, that's sitting on the hoist. It'll go down a lot more because you had that real like stancy look. For now, we want to go fast. So we're going to go ahead and get these coilovers adjusted. We'll get the other Mickey Thompson mounted up to one of my other gram lights and put them on the car. That looks sick. There you go, that's a bit better. Car's dirty, don't mind the dirty car. But anyway, let's get all that done. Here it is, outside, done, ready for the tune. Stoked with how this come out. Ollie's stoked. So keen to see how much power and stuff it makes. Should be a heap of fun. Keen for him to get on the track. Now we've got some big meats on the back. Should be a heap of fun. So there's that one. Go-kart's packed in the ute. Now let's get on to the E30. that'll probably wrap up that video there. Got the headlights mounted. I actually sprayed a bit of nightshades onto one side and left the other. Very unsure which one I like better. Think I'm gonna go with the black, just because I don't like the LED like modern look. It was just putting proper globes in it, just too much hard work, and there's no really LEDs that look any better than these. So nightshaded those two, just rough as coat. If anyone knows how to make nightshade not come up patchy, please send me a link. So that's those mounted, grills mounted, headlights are mounted, everything there is done. Next stage, next week when I get some time to work on this thing, we'll throw the radiator back in. Got to make some radiator like lines, like hoses, figure out what we're doing there. Put the manifold on, got to weld the wastegate flange to the manifold, and that'll be sort of the hot side done. We can probably start doing some intercooler piping in the way of engine-based stuff. A few things still on the inside still, not sure if I'll video those, just a bunch of brackets and stuff like that. But that's probably enough on the E30 today. Racing go-karts tomorrow, if it doesn't rain. Not sure if I can find my GoPro, I might throw some footage in the next video. But Anthony's been here in the background working away on his DE SR with his homemade ITB setup. It's actually a factory intake manifold cutoff. The butterflies like in there are from a set of carbies, and these trumpets he made himself on the lathe. Made up a little tool to spin these out, so that come out pretty cool. Custom made fuel rail. That's actually a barra fuel rail that got cut down. All bits that he's found around the shop. So it's gonna be a pretty cool little car. He's wired up as a basic Microtech into this, and let's do a fun little street car. So yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Let us know what you want to see. Then we'll try and get some more content next week. This one was a bit slack on the fab content. We have been super busy, so we did finished the F6, did that RX-8. We finished the 13B RX-8. I've been working like ham on the LS RX-8, and like usual, a couple other little jobs. And next week we've got some cage stuff, some headers. What else? More on the black RX-8. Probably gonna do heaps on that. But yeah, until then, see you next time.